And joining us now is Africa 54 health correspondent Linord Moudou with news about cervical cancer. Linord?
That's right. In Zimbabwe, the country has become the 8th African country to introduce HPV vaccine into its routine immunization program. The vaccines, funded by Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, and the government of Zimbabwe, is to reach over 800,000 girls aged between 10 to 14 years old across the country. UNICEF, WHO, and partners has worked alongside the Zimbabwe Ministry of Health on implementation. The World Health Organization says cervical cancer is the 4th most frequent cancer in women in the world. About 270,000 women died from cervical cancer in 2015. Approximately 90% of the deaths occurred in low and middle income countries. WHO says the high mortality rate from cervical cancer globally could be reduced through a comprehensive approach that includes prevention, early diagnosis, effective screening, and treatment programs. Medical experts say early diagnosis is key to enable a better outcome of survival for women with cervical cancer. Project Give Hope is a humanitarian project that aims to save women from cervical cancer in 20 seconds with a unique approach. Joining us in the studio is Cherissa Jackson. She is a retired Air Force nurse, veteran, author, speaker, CEO, and founder of Project Give Hope. Ms. Jackson, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Great. Happy late Memorial Day. You are a veteran.
Yes, I am.
Listen, it's very fascinating when I was reading about Project Give Hope and your approach to addressing cervical cancer in 20 seconds. What is that all about?
Oh my goodness, it's a great development. It's called the thermocoagulator. It is a device that actually treats precancerous lesions on the cervix in 20 seconds. Here in the US and other countries, cryotherapy is the typical treatment for precancerous lesions. However, this device, the thermocoagulator, actually does it in 20 seconds compared to 12 minutes using a thermocoagulator. So it just makes sense to be able to treat more women, to treat them faster. It's battery operated, and so they don't have to worry about the expenses of gas cylinders using a cryotherapy machine.
Yes.
So it just makes sense. It's effective, and it can treat a lot of women.
So let's see what it looks like. 20 seconds, a woman gets seen, she gets treated. Can we actually look at the device? So tell us about who is qualified to do this treatment, given that it's so quick? Is there some specific type of training that providers have to take?
Absolutely. Thankfully, to the Ministry of Health and the Uganda Cancer Institute, they're actually training me on this device.
Okay.
So nurses like myself here in the U.S. can go to Uganda and actually get trained on this device and help be an additional medical professional treating women with this device. So anybody that has medical experience, i.e. nurses, midwife, doctors, can use this device once they're trained on the device itself.
And how does this work?
Okay, so basically, again, it's battery operated, so you will attach it to the battery, and then you plug it up with the battery power machine here. These are the two adapters that you can use to actually treat the precancerous lesion on the cervix. You have a 16 millimeter diameter device as well as a 19 millimeter diameter device. And so you choose it according to how big the lesions are on the cervix. And 20 seconds, it treats that particular lesions. The patient can come back in a 6-month follow-up to see if that precancerous lesion is gone, and you continue to follow up the patient afterwards.
What is the success rate?
100% success rate. I have actually been in communications with Malawi that actually uses the device, and they have already used it on several women, and 6 months later, the precancerous lesions were gone.
That's amazing. Now, when the precancerous lesions are gone, is there a possibility of them coming back?
Absolutely, and that's why women are encouraged to continue to do pap smears every year and do follow-up with their GYN to make sure the lesions don't come back.
So the same lesion can come back, or new lesions come back?
New lesions can come back.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So tell us about what it takes. I mean, something like that, it's quicker as opposed to cryotherapy or perhaps other approach. But What about the cost that it involves? I mean, such an equipment, this small case, how much can it cost, and how accessible is it for the woman to have it and take care of other women in the rural area, for example?
Yes, so this device itself is $1,500, which is why I created Project Give Hope, because I'm actually purchasing these devices for Uganda and able to give it to the rural community hospitals because it's so costly. So Project Give Hope actually funds the devices, and I actually give them to the providers in the rural community and hospitals as a gift to Uganda.
What about maintenance? What does it take to maintain? Because a lot of times people are confronted with this challenge. They get nice equipment, but then long term there is a problem when it comes to maintenance.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. The Uganda Cancer Institute already has one of the devices, so they're already familiar with the maintenance. But it's very, very easy. Again, it's battery operated. So if the battery goes bad, you just purchase another battery, which Project Give Hope is helping with that. As far as the probes itself, you just clean it with an alcohol wipe to sanitize it. So unless it breaks, it's really easy maintenance to maintain it and keep it sterile for the next patient.
So where are where is this device available now? As you talked about Uganda, that's where you're focusing right now.
Yes.
And you say Malawi already has it?
Yes.
What other countries can you find it?
It currently is in 30 countries internationally, some being India, China, Zimbabwe, Egypt.
Okay.
It's in several countries already.
Okay, so quickly, if people are interested to know more about this or your project, what do they do?
Absolutely. They can go to Project Give Hope at the website, www.projectgivehope.org, and they can support what we're doing in an effort to cure women from precancerous lesions in 20 seconds.
Cherissa, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
Great talking to you.
Same here.
And that's Cherissa Jackson. She's a retired military nurse and founder of Project Give Hope.